Hey everyone, welcome back to Biz by the Water episode 30. It's me, Max, here again. I'm by myself today. I haven't done a podcast by myself for ages, but I thought I'd get one out. It's my last podcast for a while. Caleb and Adam will be taking over my little spot on the podium on the podcast. But without further ado, let's hit the intro.
This is the Biz by the Water podcast.
Gonna be great, gonna be a good day.
You're listening to Caleb and Max on Biz by the Water.
So in today's podcast, we're going to be talking about the Olympics. We're going to be talking about what to do while I'm away. And TLB's 3-year anniversary is coming up very, very soon. So the Olympics, they're coming up, rapidly approaching. I think opening ceremony is in a few days. I'm not actually that well educated on the Olympics this time around, probably because I'm not going to be here for it, which is quite bittersweet. But yeah, I've got everything in good hands for TLB, but the swimming's looking really good. Caleb Dressel did some good times at his trials. I know Carl Chalmers did really good here, and Kaylee McEwen and Emma McKeon, all the old favourites, are back again for the swimming team. I'm not too sure on the running team. I know Sam Fricker on the diving team as well. He didn't make it for the Olympics, which was quite sad, but he did really well in Tokyo, so it'd be interesting to see how different it is. So like Carl Chalmers, he did really well in the 100 free. But the one thing Caleb and I always said about that 100 free race, he was facing the opposite side to Caleb Dressel. So if he kept, he was breathing the opposite side to Caleb Dressel. So if he looked the opposite side, towards Caleb Dressel, I bet you he would have won that race. It was really close, but we're going to see, because we know Caleb Dressel has had a fair bit of time off recently due to mental health awareness, or just mental health break as well. But hopefully, we really do hope Carl Chalmers can bring home gold for Australia. The 100 free race for Australia has been really interesting over the Olympics since 2000. We did good in 2000. I think 2004, Ian Thorpe won bronze. 2008, I think it was Angus Sullivan, I think he got silver by 1/100th. Then the following year, we lost by 1/100th again. James Magnussen took home silver. 2016, Rio, Carl Chalmers won gold. 2021 or 2020 Tokyo, we won silver. So it went bronze, silver, gold, silver. So hopefully we can bring back gold this year, because it's a pretty unfair track record if you 1/100th difference on most of them. Cross country is going well for me. I think Caleb just got back from China yesterday, so I haven't really had a chance to speak to him yet. But I saw some photos on Instagram. It's great. Also, go check out Biz by the Water Instagram. It's at Biz by the Water. I think it used to be the Biz Podcast 21, but I think I changed that a while back. We post regular updates on there, special clips from our podcast, behind the scenes. And yeah, you can check out Biz by the Water on all those other platforms. But yeah, I mean, running is going well. I just got back from Singapore and Thailand. When I was in Thailand, I was probably doing 3-hour workouts in the gym, doing a 10-kilometer bike ride, and then hopping on the weights, doing some weights, and then after, my emails went off. Sorry about that. Hopping on the weights, doing a circuit, a closed circuit, as we like to say in the sports world. Also, one quick thing. Caleb and I, a while ago, we entered for the Radio Today Podcasting Awards as the best sports category. So you can see an article about Biz by the Water, or a little section of an article on Radio Today. You just search up Biz by the Water on their homepage. I won't be here for the judgings, so I will leave that in the very capable hands of Caleb or someone else. I'll have to give them access to my emails. God, yeah. A lot of sensitive TLB stuff on those emails. And also Michael and Peter, my two bosses at TLB, they'll be taking over my little CEO job. It's actually really funny at TLB. I've had a lot of different roles. I started off as co-CEO, then I moved up to CEO, then it's all a little fun and game for us. Then I moved to executive chairman, then I got fired. Magically one day, we hired a head of HR, and then Michael and Peter, they voted me out. So a little shout out to Michael and Peter. I remember this all, it was yesterday. That was the fun days of TLB. Then once we had Jamin as CEO, we used to have, who else did we have? I know The Person, as he's known on Discord, he helped start TLB, so Yeah, I mean, it's been a long journey. It doesn't feel like 3 years. It feels like way longer. Yeah, when I say that I founded the TLV, I remember the date, I remember the time, I remember how it happened. It's very interesting. But we'll get back onto sport because that's what the podcast is about. So, yeah, running's going good. I haven't gone on a run in Sydney since, God, I think 2 months ago or maybe a month ago. I usually do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I go with my school with the cross country and middle distance team, but it's coming up to our school championship, so I might come back from field studies. That's what we call it, field studies. My camp. I might come back to do some running for the CAS championships, and then it goes CIS. Actually, we did CIS cross country a while back, and we got the team gold medal because it doesn't actually matter. Well, I think you get medals for placing, but if you have 4 runners in your team from the same school, and the 4 fastest runners or the fastest teams. The fastest team gets a gold medal. You don't get second fastest teams or bronze medal for third fastest, but it's just that number one. But I'll actually talk about the selection criteria for CAS. So we call it CAS track and fields. They do like javelin throwing, discus, shot put, long jump. I don't think they do pole vaulting. I think that's later on. But yeah, they do selection criteria for my school is that you do, I think it's top 2 get through, like top 2 fastest get through to the race, and I think they choose 1 or 2 reserves for like this. So like last year I was a reserve in the 1500 and 800, so that was quite nice to be able to go along and still cheer on. I got to do some running at the warm up track. The warm up track's really good as well, but we usually do main stuff on the athletics track. So, fun fact. The athletics track for the Olympics in 2000, the current athletics track used to be the warm up track, which is interesting because they changed that up a while ago. Because I think they call it Accor Stadium now. Used to be ANZ Stadium. That's where the main running track was for the Sydney 2000 Olympics. Yeah, that's basically all I have to say. I know this should probably be a mini podcast actually, not episode 30, but I think I'll try find something else to ramble on about. What else is there that's been happening? Oh, let's talk about the presidential election. I know on the podcast we usually do make it controversial sometimes, but I didn't really plan for this podcast actually. Yeah, don't mind me. I'm actually trying to take a page from my old book, which is the 2022 version of the podcast, where we didn't plan it all, and the podcast turned out really good. Yeah, I don't know how that happened, actually. We always used to say, what should we talk about today? And I remember everyone used to come up to me and say, Max, you should plan your podcast, because you always say, what should we talk about today? So we're going to talk about the presidential election. Biden dropped out yesterday, which is really interesting, because he kept saying, it's like Liz Truss. Anyone remember Liz Truss? She didn't last as long as a piece of lettuce as the UK Prime Minister. She always said, I'm not a fighter, I'm not a quitter. Then the next day she proceeded to quit. Biden, it's not really what's happened with Biden. Biden is, I support Biden. I like Biden. I can't say that I support, deep down inside, I kind of like Trump. What he's saying is correct, but I know I'm going to get cancelled for this. So I'm not going to say any of my opinions just to avoid getting cancelled on Biz by the Water. Jeez, I've always said to Caleb, one day we're going to get cancelled for something that we say. But yeah, Biden dropped out. He's no longer running for president, so Kamala Harris, the vice president, she's bidding to take over the, I think, Democratic Party. I don't know, something different between Labor and Liberal here in Sydney, Australia, or here in Australia in general. More about politics. Dominic Perrottet, our former premier, he quit the other day. What am I doing here? Just sitting here. Actually, I'm standing at the microphone. I don't know why I'm standing. Yeah, this is how boring it is when you only have one podcast host. Look at me talking about politics. Never did I ever think I would be talking about politics on a sporting podcast. But yeah, if you want more politics news, I'd say go to the reliable sources over at like Channel 9, Channel 7, Channel 10. Yeah, I mean, that's really all I had to talk about. I mean, I just searched up recent world news. Kamala Harris moves swiftly to lock up support after Joe Biden quit. Okay, that's more politics. Anyone interested in planes? Yeah, me neither. How lonely is this? Should we try and call up some people? We should try and get some guests on this podcast. I know Adam will be taking over with Caleb. Hopefully they actually do some recording while I'm away. I have full trust in them. I have said a lot, so this is my goodbye, everyone. I'm taking it all in. It's just me on the podcast. As you probably know, if you've been listening, we're currently almost 10 minutes in. Let's talk about the history of Biz by the Water. So it was originally started as the Biz Podcast, October 4th or 5th. Caleb and I used to have it on this platform called, I think, Buzzsprout, not BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed's the news platform. Buzzsprout. And, there's one other. Actually, let's forget about that. That's boring. Let's talk about tech. That's the one thing I should have talked about from the start. Tech is really big right now. Apple is absolutely demolishing the tech world. Well, as I said, demolishing. My friend, he went to the Apple store the other day. He tried to book a demo. Well, he tried to test out the new Vision Pro, but you have to book a demo. So, that was interesting. But iPhone 16, while I'm away, the Apple event will happen, and hopefully the iPhone 16 will be coming out. And we will see maybe some new designs on the camera. Every year I usually do an Apple event speculation, but this year we will be doing this on the podcast. So I'm just going to, if you want to skip ahead on the podcast, I'll put a timestamp down below. I should have probably said that earlier. I'll do something with my magic editing fingers. But yeah, Apple, they released, I think, a new MacBook Air a while back. And then the iPad got refreshed with a chip. I think their last event, oh God, what was their last event? Oh, see, this is how old I am. You should see me right now. I'm standing here in the studio. It's currently 9:34 a.m. Tuesday, 23rd of July. I haven't shaved. I've got a massive moustache. I walked into United, my old swimming centre, yesterday, and I'd been there for a month because I left. And everyone looked at me and they were like, "Geez, Max, you got to shave soon." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, thanks. I'm gonna grow it out for the podcast, see if people notice." Also shout out to who can I shout out? Leo. Shout out to Leo. And Leon. My good friends from United Swimming. Yeah. This is my goodbye, everyone. I'm not gonna... Well, not forever. For 2 months. You'll hear Adam and Caleb rambling on about... Like, as I say, I ramble on about something, they're going to be rambling on about something as well. So we'll soon see. I actually started putting ads in the podcast. I don't know if you guys notice. It might not work straight away because ads... I don't know, the ads are about... I think I was listening to... Because I uploaded my special announcement last night. I hopped on my phone, I listened on Apple Podcasts last night, and there was an ad that popped up midway through. I was like, that can't be right. So, yeah, how funny is that? I was listening, and it was like an ad about like the Army Defence Force or some saving plastic or something like that. But, well, that's basically it for my full episode. I find it really hard to talk about something by myself. Yeah, that's my Biz by the Water, episode 30. Happy episode 30, everyone. Soon will be 50, maybe 100. It's taken us 3 years to get to 30, so that's 10 a year. Jeez, we should really be doing more.